I'm Zach Snyder.
And I'm Aden Matthews.
Welcome back to another YouTube podcast. One-stop shop for anything and everything related to YouTube.
The show where a package came at my door today.
Oh shit, what'd you get?
One could say something in the mail came today, you know?
Something came in the mail today.
And I opened it and what was...
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, it's episode 99 of another YouTube podcast. That's crazy.
Oh,
and what was that doing in there the whole time?
The whole time? How'd it get in there?
No, it was actually jeans, but I thought for the bit I could make it a little funnier.
Hey man.
For sure.
You know, I feel like when I was a kid, I got new jeans like all the time, like at least once a year, right? School shopping, that kind of thing. Now, like getting a pair of jeans it's a momentous occasion.
My parents can attest to the fact that I am particularly picky with the kind of jeans I will wear.
Really? That's funny.
Yes, and pants in general, actually, because I'm a very
Sure. I get it.
very slim individual, and jeans especially have like 18 different fit categories. There's like the standard, the loose leg, the tight. They just make up shit like Pokemon types, bro. You don't know what it means. You try them on, you're like, this doesn't feel right, or this feels right. What size am I? I don't know. I just do not know half the time. If I have to shop for my own jeans, it'll be a nightmare. So I'm glad I don't have to.
That's really funny. But no, I get it. Jeans are fucking also hard to get when you're on the opposite side of the weight spectrum. So you know, big boys, you gotta take a little while. And I'm not like so big that I have to go like to the men's big and tall store or anything like that. So it's complicated. It's still complicated.
I think it'd be really funny, and I have no desire to run like a clothes brand at all, but to be like the manager of a big and tall store, you know, like in my shape and my stature, the comedy potential funny. I think could really be there. And I don't even know what I would do with it. I would just be like, my life's calling is just selling XXL shorts, bro. It's what gets me up in the morning.
Right. Yeah, no, I get it. That's funny. Anyways, YouTube podcast time, episode 99. What the hell? We're here.
Actually,
crazy.
If you want to be a bit of a contrarian, a nitpicker, if you will.
Yeah.
This is actually the 100th episode because we did an episode 0.
Episode 0, right?
Yeah. So this is actually the 100th time.
If you want to cover the extra shows we did at the very beginning of the show, it'd be like episode 104, but or something like that. I don't remember. Those episodes aren't even available to the public anymore. So
as far as the official count goes, this is episode 99 of the show. Which
we don't have to do a finale, right?
Yeah, I wish. Which means we only have 2 episodes of the podcast left. The one you're listening to right now, and then one more next week. The final one.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
It's crazy. Nah, like we've been talking about getting to the end of this thing for a couple months now, about 3 months, I think. And the fact that we're like right on the cusp of it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. But anyways, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about our favorite segment, the last time we'll be able to say,
oh man,
your week on YouTube, baby.
Trademark.
Don't
forget, it is trademark. Nobody ever is allowed to talk about their week.
Even
on
when
YouTube
the podcast ends, you are not allowed to steal this segment and use it for your own things. It's still trademark to us. So
yeah. And if anything, I think that's a bonus to you because it never really was a good segment, but we liked it. So, you know.
Absolutely, King. Absolutely. But we're going to talk about our week, what we've been up to. Again, like all these episodes, it's actually more of like 2 or 3 weeks, if we're being honest. But for once, both me and Zach have some interesting things to say. So at the very least, it won't be one of those your week on YouTubes that end at the 15-minute mark. So that'll be cool. That'll be cool, at least.
I agree. Cool.
You know what else is pretty cool, Zachary?
What else is pretty cool?
Our sponsor, Awesome Creator Academy.
Yo, you remembered.
Yeah. I also remembered that you were going to do it without looking at it. So I throw it off to you, my guy. Have fun.
You did remember. All right. Our sponsor today is Awesome Creator Academy with the YouTube Starter Kit. If you're just getting started on YouTube and you got a little money to throw around, why not check out the YouTube Starter Kit? For only $99, you get a bunch of things like advanced YouTube thumbnails, channel artwork, fonts, royalty-free music, and more. Check out the link in the description. In doing so, you'll be supporting another YouTube podcast.
Surprisingly close.
It's very close. It's not exact, but like it's close enough.
It was exact up until the dollar amount, where it's for $99 you get over $1,500 of value. But then you listed off like all the things slightly out of order, but you listed all the things and then you wrapped it up pretty perfectly. So good job.
You could say that's even better because it was more quick and succinct, and we're not spending 2.5 minutes on an ad read.
Right, like we are now, of course, now that I'm explaining the bit and like going on and stuff. But screw that. If you don't have $100 lying around, you can support us on Anchor at anchor.fm/another-YouTube-podcast, I think. Fuck. You can decide to support us financially at $1, $5, or $10. And then it would say, and we'll read your name on the podcast, but we're not doing that anymore. I'm just, trying to go off memory. Shout out to Anchor. Link in the description below.
Anchor.fm/another-YouTube-podcast. Go check it out. Hit it up. We will still take your money. YouTube Starter Kit's not going anywhere either. So feel free to check that out. If you're interested, if you've ever been interested, do it as a goodbye gift to the podcast. That'd be dope.
Hell yeah.
But if not, that is all good. Aden, what'd you do this week?
So last time we talked, we were in the very early stages of uploading 30 for 30. I think like only the first 2 episodes were up and they had like 2 views. And I was on the podcast being like, oh, woe is me. They only have 3 views. I'm worried none of them are going to do well. They've done well. They've done surprisingly well. That's awesome. Yeah. Wow. Cool. Thanks, everybody.
They got views. Let's go.
None of them are at 20 views yet, but like the Ultra Beast ones, I think at like 18. Alex Kidd's like 16. A lot of them are past the 10 view mark. And it seems that while not everybody watches them when they come out, aside from Zach and Jay, it seems it takes about 24 hours of the video being out for people to go back and rewatch it. And if they're behind on an episode, usually the past couple get updated together. So like I'm at the Kid Chameleon episode, and then I upload the Streets of Rage and Comic Zone. Today is the day they probably go back and watch Kid Chameleon to get caught up, right? So typically a lot of them will work together in views, and that's pretty cool. It just means it all updates at once. So when I look at my YouTube analytics, ever since uploading that first 30 for 30, the daily views on my channel just goes up. I think one day I had like 24. Just 24 views on the channel in one day, which was insane.
And reminder, this is a brand new channel, right?
Yeah,
it's only been around for like 3 months. So pretty cool that things are going well for it. I'm really happy about that, man.
We're more than halfway through on re-uploading them. At the time of recording this, the Comic Zone episode is out, and I have about 6 more that need to go, and then those will be up on the 21st, and then I'll do the Charlie Brown Christmas video, and hopefully end out the year on a high note. One thing I did want to mention that I almost forgot about was Aden, in the middle of doing some of these 30 for 30s, decided to keep the sanctity of a comedic bit intact. Why not upload a video in between 2 30 for 30s that is also holiday themed? Aden, what do you mean by that? So the Golden Axe video starts off with a very iconic bit to 30 for 30, one that I would never cut out, of me going, what the fuck? Where the new 30 for 30 at? And I knock like a Luigi amiibo like off my chair in a whole gamer rage. But shit, I'm re-uploading all these 30 for 30s daily. If I went straight from the Bonanza Bros episode into Golden Axe, the bit don't make no sense. Most people be like, yeah, who gives a shit? Just upload the fucking 30 for 30. I care. I care about the lore. All right. I care about the lore and the sanctity of 30 for 30. So I was just gonna be like, fuck it. Let's just not upload a video. But then you were like, yo, what if you just put something out? And I'm like, oh
yeah,
maybe that might
you
be
got
a
other
good idea.
videos, right?
I got
other
plenty
videos
of other
that you could upload. So
I was looking around the hard drive, seeing what could work, and I found the Olive and Nostalgia video, a video that we've complained about before on the podcast that didn't do well because I released it back in July and the timing was off and yada yada. So it made sense. I had to edit out the Earthbound stuff that got a copyright claim the first time, replaced a little bit of the music, whatever. It's at 17 views right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a really good video. It still hold up. You added a couple of extra things to make it even better. It worked out really well for you. I'm glad you was able to get that put out during Christmas month.
We'll have to wait and see if it'll surpass the original video at 30 views, but it's already pretty close to halfway there in a way shorter amount of time. So that'll be one that I'm going to be interested to follow, especially as the month continues. I already got a comment on it from some random cartoon channel, just like asking me to do more of that shit. I'm like, oh,
it's really cool.
Maybe I will. Perhaps a Charlie Brown Christmas video will be coming your way. Yeah, like that type of shit. But
yeah. Meanwhile, the Charlie Brown Christmas video is coming out. It will be out in like 2 weeks. So it's very funny. It's very funny.
Absolutely. That's pretty much it. As far as the YouTube stuff is concerned, very happy with how 30 for 30 is going. I will admit, it is a good bit of work. I wake up every day to a DaVinci Resolve timeline of the next 30 for 30 I got to edit. I rewatch every single one. I try to find improvements to it. Sometimes it takes a lot of work. Sometimes it takes very little work. But I never quite know what to expect. Because keep in mind, again, these videos are like a year old. And I just find myself doing really stupid shit that I would never do now. Like, in the Streets of Rage video alone, I had a really bad habit of, rather than cutting from one gameplay clip to another, I would just instead put the new gameplay on top of it and have it fade in. And I did that like 18 different times. And I'm like, am I fucking stupid? Like, it works in some instances. But sometimes, like, if I'm breathing in the middle of a point, nobody wants to see a fade. Just cut out the breathing and do a cut from one clip to another. Yeah. Sometimes I can't fix it, obviously, just because of the shot, or I'd have to re-record gameplay. But a lot of the time, it took like 2 seconds. And man, I cut out like almost 20 seconds of that Streets of Rage video, just doing minor, just little restructurings and like actual cuts. But that's cool to look back on, because it just means that I'm improving a little bit more in the editing. Something I would have been totally okay with a year ago. I'm now like, all right, Aiden, get off your fucking
100%.
Get off your shit, bro. This is horrible.
100%. It's really funny going back to older videos, and it's like even a year ago, like I've done things that I would not do now at all, just because, you know, I found better ways to do it. And it's cool that you're like, you've noticed the same thing. I know Jay has noticed the same things before as well. So it's a sign of improvement. It's really cool.
That's pretty much it for the channel. Put out a Aiden on Anchor today about Pokemon starters. That was kind of fun. Like 52 minutes long.
Listening to it.
More of a goof fest for sure. I just kind of go off on tangents and rants about stupid pocket monsters, but I think it's pretty entertaining, at least. Sure. And I think that's about it, unless I'm forgetting something. I did a little something with you, but I figured you'd probably want to talk about that. So
yeah,
I'm gonna send it over to you. What'd you do?
What'd we do?
Yeah, I'll let you know when you get to it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool. So I have been talking for the last few episodes about how like I feel directionless when it comes to YouTube right now. And it's by design. Like there was a period of my YouTube career where I decided I'm just going to put out a video when I feel like it. And that was 2020 and 2021. I want to do better. I want to have a plan. I want to have a direction going into 2020. So I started, I got back out my handy dandy schedule, and I went through all the video ideas that I wanted to do like very soon. And I was like, all right, how can I categorize these videos into like different categories that I'll actually get them done in a reasonable time, right? I know that there's a lot of videos that are going to take a lot of effort. Those are going to be the biggest ones. We're not putting out more than one of those a month. You know, some of them, they might even take 2 months. And that's okay. But what do I do in the meantime? Well, we got the YouTube shorts. We've talked about that before. I want to do more of them. So I figured out I'm going to do YouTube shorts like two times a week. That'll be the plan. I'll do the big videos once a month. And then I've got what I'm considering what I'm calling experimental videos. These are wacky ideas that I've wanted to do for forever that I hadn't got around to. Well, now I'm going to like make sure I do at least one of those like every 1 or 2 months. And they'll be like shorter videos with like a very specific theme, and I'll just get them done. And then I got the other main category, which is just like more topical, either topical stuff or things that aren't going to take like a month to make, but I could do it in like a week. I could do it in like 3 days if I really just sat down and did it. Mm-hmm. Those videos I'm going to try to get out like once every 2 weeks. So what it looks like for January is I have like a big video coming out the first week, and then I have nothing else coming out that week. So that it gives that video time to get some views. And then I got what I'm calling a hub video. Is Star Wars Visions. I'm going to talk about Star Wars Visions. It'll take me 2 days to make that video if I just sit down and do it. So I'm going to put that out a week afterwards. And then we got 2 shorts coming out that week, and then an experimental video the next week. So that's cool. That'll take, again,
and by experimental, you mean like the book video, kind of like
I mean like the book video. Here's the experimental video I want to do in January is ranking the planets.
Oh.
And you're like, what are you talking about? Well, I want to rank the actual celestial planets in the sky, in the universe. So, is Mercury better than Jupiter? I don't know. Find out in January. But I also want to rank the classical composition, The Planets by Gustav Holst. Because I'd be fucking with it really heavily. So that's going to be in there. And then also there are the planets were named after Roman gods, which are actually just Greek gods. So we're going to rank those as well, right? So like Jupiter is Zeus. Is Zeus better than another one? Who knows? We'll figure that out. So that's the idea. But that's what I mean by experimental. Like that, I've got like a Fortnite video in the, like kind of in the works. I've wanted to do a video on Geico commercials for like 3 years. So that's what I mean by experimental. Like, in no way this video should get any views, but I want to do it, so we're going to do it.
Hell yeah. Like you got a plan. Got a plan going forward.
I got a plan. Awesome. So hopefully I follow through with it. Hopefully it doesn't come out with too many issues. If anything, I also took an approach that you had mentioned to me where like at any given moment, you usually have about 10 video ideas and that's about it. You don't write them down anywhere, but like your plan, at least for the last couple of years, was like, if I at least get a video out every month, I'll be happy.
Right.
So I was like, okay, what are the 12 or 10 like big videos that I want to get out in 2022? And those are going to be main priorities. Anything else, we're just going to throw it to the side. It'll happen eventually. I don't have time for it.
My argument was basically, if everything goes to shit, if you can't do anything, what 12 videos would you be happy just to have up for the year? And be like, I did it. Because so often on some of our worst years, we can't even get out 12 videos, period. So it's kind of like a little bit of a goal setting thing. We're like, at least strive to have 12 good videos, one for each month. And then if you can add shit, the better, obviously. But you'll be surprised what a 12 video schedule can give you for a year. What you can cover, what you can look back on. It's a good start, a foundation.
Right. So if anything, my hopes and plans and dreams for 2022 is I at least have like one of those big videos or an experimental video every month. If everything else goes to shit, if I don't do the shorts, if I don't do the topical things or the quicker videos, whatever, as long as I can get like experimental or a big video out, I'll be happy because that'll be the shit that I really want to make. I really want to make those. I really want to have those out. So that's the plan. Hopefully that'll that'll go well. But I was looking through all the ideas and shit that I wanted to cover. And last couple of years, I've done a little thing called Adam Sandler Week.
Right.
Year one, it was 5 individual videos throughout an entire week, and they were pretty stupid, but they turned out pretty funny. The year 2, we did the crossover event, and I made Adam Sandler Week part of that crossover event. So it was like one gigantic, I think the video is like 30 something minutes long.
It's a big boy. Yeah.
It's a big boy, right? And so 28 minutes turned out really well, though. I still really like what I did with that. But the only reason I hadn't done one this year, besides laziness and getting busy or whatever, I didn't really have like a theme for it. I didn't really have like a narrative idea. The last Adam Sandler video, I did so many wacky things with like the multiverse, and we had a crossover, and it was a season premiere. Like there was just so much that like I was able to fill in that episode where it's pretty easy to make it, all things considered. But then it was like 3 a.m. and I had like the great idea of what I wanted to do for the narrative for this next Adam Sandler video. So now I'm working on it, and hopefully it'll come out before Christmas. That's the plan.
This was what I was referring to with the thing I helped you with and added a little
right
to. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I'm really happy with it. I got a green screen earlier today, so that's going to be used. It'll be the first time I've used a green screen in a video since my 2017 Christmas video, which was a
classic, baby.
Which was a Star Wars holiday special video. It was not good.
Only the second worst use of a green screen within the friend group. Couldn't quite get first place.
I'll take that.
But second place for sure.
But what I'm really happy with so far for this Adam Sandler video is I finally finished watching all the movies yesterday, but I had the narrative kind of figured out a couple of about 3 or 4 days ago. But not only is it Christmas themed, there's an actual reason for it to come out on Christmas, which is really cool. But like it's bigger and more interesting than the multiverse thing, which is really cool. And I got a few little references and Easter eggs to older projects. There's a reference to the Star Wars holiday special video. There's a couple of references to the first episode of Your Everyday Nerd. There's a little quick joke and nod to the crossover episode from last year. So it's going to be wacky. It's going to be more narrative than it will be me talking about Adam Sandler videos or movies. And I mean, at minimum, it's going to be a 30-minute video. I'm calling it a movie. It's practically Your Everyday Nerd, the movie. So I'm really happy to see how it turns out. I just somehow have to get it done in like a week and a half, and
10 days.
We'll see what happens.
10
we'll
days.
See what happens
as of recording this. So no, I'm really excited. Like the past Adam Sandler week was a wild video, to say the least. So the idea that like this is somehow gonna top that in some way is a really exciting thought.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm happy to. I'm excited to show it to you guys, and I'll be even more excited to get some more shit done. I recorded some footage for it a couple nights ago, but I might be re-recording it because I'm still figuring out this new camera. But we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Tell you one thing. Watched 3 out of 5 of the Adam Sandler movies yesterday, and thankfully, I had Aden to watch one of them with me and Jay to watch another one with me because I wanted to blow my brains out.
Shit's so bad, bro.
Oh,
Jesus.
man. Abysmal.
Yeah. In a day when we watched Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer.
Yeah.
Really was the cheese of the shit sandwich,
Ugh.
you know?
Ugh. Yeah. Sure did. But that's pretty much it. Well,
you ain't gonna talk about the tea, the drama.
Oh, yeah.
The falling out.
I almost forgot, bro.
Yeah.
So
you said you were gonna talk about this shit.
Last time I mentioned that on a whim at like 4:00 in the morning. I applied for a content producer spot at G4 TV. Network television, coming back after being bankrupt for a few years, trying to do the YouTube Twitch thing. I'm like, this sounds cool, you know? So I applied, and about 12 hours later, I get an email saying that not only do they want me for an interview, but I am one of their top candidates. So I'm like, what? Excuse me? So I set up the interview. I have to wait a week for it. It's like a phone call interview. And I go through the interview. And the interview goes well. We had a nice conversation. They basically told me that the ball was in my court. I had to make the decision if I wanted the job. So you're thinking, well, cool, you got the job. Well, when I applied for the job, it did tell me that it was a remote position. They even had one of the qualifications they wanted you to have was a little quirky, tongue-in-cheek joke about working in in a remote world that has no issues whatsoever, right? They're sarcastic in it. I'm like, cool, whatever. I've done remote work literally since 2018. It's how I make a living. So, unfortunately, during the phone call interview, the man informed me that they have changed the position from a remote position to an in-person position, and that I would have to move to Los Angeles, California. So, yeah, that was, that kind of sucked to hear that, because I don't know about you guys, but, moving across the country, I live in South Carolina, moving across the country during a pandemic, not really on the top of my list of things to do. On top of that, it's like, the amount of salary that I put would have been amazing in South Carolina. I would have been basically where I am now in California with that money. And then like my grandmother just passed away not that long ago. So I want to be close to family during this time. Moving in the middle of a lease would be a pain in the ass. It would ruin, it'd mess up my roommate as well. Like there's just so many reasons why moving to California right now is not a good idea. So I had to decline the job offer. That's really what it comes down to.
Damn, bro. Yeah. I thought you were going to come on here and be like, guess what, guys? I'm moving to California, everybody. That's why the podcast is ending. I'm off to live my LA life in a bachelor pad.
Yeah. Yeah.
With 6 other people paying the rent.
Yeah. It really kind of sucked. I'm not going to lie. 'Cause like, while on one hand, I did apply for the job on a whim. Sure. On the other hand, I was thinking, oh, well, I mean, this would be a good opportunity. Like this would be cool. I could get away from some client work, if not all of it. I could move on to like doing a bunch of content that like I was really excited for and getting paid for. I could get health benefits. That'd be pretty cool. Stable income is always nice, and it'd be more than what I was making now. But then after that phone call conversation, and then I was thinking about like even moving to California. I was like, this isn't even an option. Considered it for like a minute before I came back down to reality. I was like, this isn't, again, like there's just too many things going against it. And then on top of that, I emailed them and was like, hey, is there any way we could make this work remotely? Like, and then they said no, like the upper management people or whatever, the hiring managers said that it had to be an in-person job. And I'm like, whatever, just whatever about it. Just, it's weird to me that this network television channel, who did get shut down, has come back because of the internet, and they're not going to utilize the internet to its full capabilities to produce content. That's what's confusing to me.
It's really weird that they would even put up that application to be remote in the first place, and then just be like, haha, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
I actually moved to California, and it's like, well, then we should have a different interview. The salary should be different. The position should be different.
100%.
If you're going to change 100%. One detail, I should be allowed to change several on my end to even remotely possibly accommodate that. But it sucks to be 99% there them basically telling you, yeah, it would work. It would fit 100%. But you don't live where we want you to be. So no, actually. It's just like,
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Like, even if they had sent me an email within the week telling me, hey, we've moved the position to an in-person job. Are you still interested? Or if there had been a question on the application that said, would you be willing to move, to relocate? Because jobs do that. They have that on applications. But it honestly left a sour taste in my mouth as to how G4 TV is going to be running, right, for the next year or so. Just weird. Just a weird situation. I don't want to talk too much shit, but it's weird. It's weird.
Glad you were able to spill your tea, bro, and expose G4 on the podcast. That thousands of listeners, bro.
Boycott G4. They've been canceled. No, I hope they do well. They got the completionist on there. They got Scott the Waz on there now, and I really look up to those creators and love what they're doing. Been following them for years now. So I hope that G4 gets their shit together and runs it properly and does what needs to be done. It just, again, like, you're bringing back a dead network that needs new and innovative voices. And I could have been your new and innovative voice. And nope, you wanted me to move to California. Damn. You hate
where all the liberals are at, bro. Can't survive a day there.
I'm saying
the Democrat infestation is like huge, bro.
That's reason number one why I didn't move to California, obviously.
Especially in Joe Biden's America. Anyway.
Joe Biden's America. Well, let me ask you, this is a shorter episode of the podcast. Would you have taken that position? Would you have moved to California?
Not at that pay grade. No.
Right. No, for sure.
That would have been a defining thing. But
yeah.
Wouldn't have mind moving to California if like I had a connection there and could like reasonably afford a place, right? That's where that money comes in for sure. But now I would have had to have thought about it. For sure. I've considered moving several times. So the idea that like, you can be closer to the industry. You can form a lot of connections. A lot of YouTubers are over there. Like, I don't doubt it'll be a decision that I'll eventually have to make. But
sure.
Right now, I'm honestly in no rush. I'm good.
I think that's my thing too. Like, in 5 years, if I had an opportunity like that, and I was making way more than what I had, put the salary position there, I'd consider it heavily. I wouldn't mind living in California at some point for a little while. But then the other thing for me was I don't want to go down the traditional TV film route. I don't want to have to like move to California to try to make it as an entertainer or whatever. Like, that just sounds like hell. And in a 2021 context where we do have the internet and these opportunities are here for us, I don't need to. None of us need to move to California to make those things happen. So I think that that's the other thing that kind of put a sour taste in my mouth. I'm like, we have the internet. Why would you need to do all that shit in person?
It's bizarre.
Yeah. But cool opportunity either way. I think it's really cool that I even got the phone call, right? That's pretty neat. Right.
And again, to get so close to them basically telling you could do it is kind of a little bit of a confidence booster, I imagine. That like,
I agree.
A location was the only thing standing for me working at a television network is kind of crazy, for sure.
I think it also helped put a little bit of pep in my step when it comes to making my own content. Like, I think part of me figuring out a direction for 2020 has to do with, if I've got the skills to like do something like that, then I better just like start putting in the actual work and effort to make my shit happen. Like, ain't nobody gonna come and save me but myself. I'm not gonna be able to get some big job opportunity to get a bunch of money to make content that I want. I'm gonna have to just do it, because that's what it comes down to at the end of the day anyways.
You make your own success, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Zach, You know what this really means, though?
What? What's it mean?
It means you need to start a resume service. If your ass got all the way to a G4 interview, you need to start charging other motherfuckers to fix up their resume, bro. Because clearly you knew how to butter up some executives or something, bro.
I've just done a lot of shit, man. You know? Like, it's been 10 years since I started doing YouTube, and so I've made thousands of videos. I've worked on hundreds of projects, you know? It's like the work's there. Not all of it's good, right? Like 2,000 Let's Play videos that are bad, but 2,000 videos nonetheless. So that, and I did put in, like, in the cover letter, I was like, I remember G4 when I was little, and I like video games, and here's what I can bring. You know, I put in, like, some video ideas. Like, I just tried to, like, pretend like I was already got the job, but here's what I would do while at the job. I think that shit's helpful for those kind of applications.
Glad we could get some value. Any resume builders out there? You're listening to this shit. There you go, bro. Episode 99 of another YouTube podcast.
There you go.
Got your shit covered.
Hell yeah.
I did remember that I apparently had promised in the last episode that I was going to talk about using the Stream Deck a little bit. So you're okay with me having a tangent to talk about the Stream Deck after your
Any
G14.
day, bro. Any day. What you got?
So, Stream Deck kind of fucking cool, bro. Honestly. Don't know why I shit talked it for several years. I probably would have not liked it several years ago. Because from what I gather in the research of it is that, like, the amount of plugins and integration to other software has grown in recent years. So, like, before, it only would have just been the OBS machine, right? You want to switch scenes in OBS? Cool. Press a button, whatever. That's what people think of when you think of a Stream Deck. And that stuff's cool. Right. But, like, nowadays, they got integrations with Spotify. I can control playlists. I can control shuffle. I can fuck around with DaVinci Resolve, put in and out points with just little buttons. I have Discord integration, Elgato stuff, so like my capture card, my audio interface. So I can just control that on the Stream Deck if I want. Like, the ecosystem surrounding it all and how they built it up, that's, I think, what the key feature is not any of just the buttons or the streaming stuff, but like building upon the actual devices and stuff.
That's cool. No, that's really cool. I'm glad that seems to be interesting at the least.
I also have a button on here that is a multi-action that when I press it, it literally opens up all the programs I need. So OBS, Discord, Spotify, audio interface. It opens them all up, puts them into the windows that they need to go in, hits the start streaming button, goes to the start streaming scene, waits for the start streaming scene to end, plays the Spotify song for my backing track, and then switches over to the just chatting scene, and I don't have to lift a finger. We're talking like 5 minutes of actions. Just push, and I'm good. And I tested it out, and it just works. This shit's crazy.
That's really cool.
Delays and stuff.
Yeah.
If I figure out more of this multi-action shit, I'm going to save a ton of time with just like menial grunt work stuff. It'd still be a little while for me to like really unlock the whole full potential. I'll have to watch some more tutorials to kind of figure this shit out. But so far, so good. Really cool. Really cool piece of tech.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, did you have anything else?
That was it. No, it was it.
Cool.
I just remembered that like last minute.
I'm going to go jack off now.
Zach was telling me he only had a little bit of time to record this episode and that he had to go back to work. But now I realize what he meant by go back to work.
You already know. No, I actually got a lot of work I got to get done today. Oh, I want to die.
One more episode, man. Next time we talk, be the final YouTube podcast episode. We're not recording it today, obviously, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
But next couple of days.
A little bit more time.
Next couple of days.
Well, I've been Zach.
And I've been Aden.
And thank you for listening to this episode of Oh Man. another YouTube podcast. Catch you guys later. Bye.
Swallow a frog? What the fuck?
I burped. I ate right before this episode, bro.
Damn.
So it happens.